What is going on, guys? You got Tone here, the coach of the main Red Clawsters, and I am bringing you week number 3 of the United Battle Championship. This week, we are up against Grim Reminder, coach of the Munster Maractus. Now, we are trying to rebound after a pretty bad loss. I do apologize because the video from last week is having some issues and whatnot, so I tried to correct the video settings myself. So hopefully it should be a little bit less laggy than the last time. So with that being said, I am just going to quickly go over the team that he has and the team that I brought against him. So just to run down his team really quick, his team is consisting of, he has a Mega Scizor, he has Mandibuzz, Alomomola, Rotom Heat, Tyranitar, Lantern, Landorus Darien, Flygon, Yanmega, Armaldo, and Mudsdale. And his Z eligible mons are Yanmega, Armaldo, and Mudsdale. And my team, as a refresher, we have Clefable, Diggersby, Metagross, Chestnut, Drapion, Sandslash, Megalopony, Latias, Gengar, Seismitoad, and Rotom Frost. So with that out of the way, I am just going to run down the team that I brought versus Grim Reminder. Quick thing to note about his team is the fact that his team is very slow, as his fastest Pokemon is Flygon, but he does have priority with Mega Scizor. He can run Scarfle and things like Landorus Darien. So, and for the most part, but overall his team is very bulky. So I try to make my team, to repair my team as best as possible to counteract that. And also I want to give a shout out to Rob for helping me with the team as a whole, like fixing up the small patches I had when I was building this team initially. But I can tell you the battle itself is anything but smooth, as you'll see my my plays, so to speak. So to run on a team I brought, first Pokemon you see for the first time we bring in the season, we have the Seismitoad, and I figured that I could have ran Stealth Rock on Seismitoad, but I decided against it. So, and in replace of that, I ran a set of Substitute Toxic. Now what Subtoxic Seismitoad does for me is it lets me beat Alomomola 1v1. I can wear down the Mandibuzz, most of his bulky walls with Subtoxic. I brought it mainly to set up on Alomomola and Mandibuzz. I'm running some speed on Seismitoad so I can outspeed an uninvested Mandibuzz, so I can at least Toxic it before it tries to taunt me, if he does carry taunt Mandibuzz. And Scald and Earth Power just differs from secondary stab moves. That's really all I needed against his team. Especially the team he brought against me. I was really expecting him to bring something like Mandibuzz in case he was scared of me spike stacking, but he has a lot of Pokemon on his team that are either flying type or has levitate. As you see, he brought half his team is immune to spikes, so it didn't really make sense to bring spikes on either Diggersby or Chestnut. So that is my Seismitoad set. Next up, we have the Life Orb Diggersby with Return, Earthquake, Quick Attack, and Fire Punch for the Mega Scizor. I'm running a pretty bulky Diggersby, so to speak, as I'm not running max speed investment. I'm only running up speed to outspeed an uninvested Landorus Darien. Max attack and the rest is the HP, rocking the Life Orb. So this is basically my way of breaking down his breaking down his team as a whole. So if I can get some Toxics off, Fire Toxics on stuff like the Lando, the Alomomola, stuff like that, and then Diggersby can just come in and just apply a lot of pressure against his team with returns and whatnot. So that was my idea coming into this battle, to bring the Diggersby. So next up, you can't see it because the Metagross, but I did bring the Clefable. Another week of me bringing offensive tank Clefable. This time I'm rocking the Babiri Berry for Bullet Punch. For Bullet Punch, Mega Scizor, potentially Iron Tail, Flygon. We have Soft Boil, Moon Blast, Fire Blast, and I believe the fourth move was Ice Beam. Yeah, I initially had Thunderbolt over Ice Beam for Alomomola and Mandibuzz, but Alomomola still takes a decent amount of damage from Moon Blast. Mandibuzz is weak to Fairy, so didn't really make sense. And what this does is it does bait in Rotom Heat pretty decently from my Latias, which is my Rotom Heat switch-in, as I'll get into later. But my Clefable set basically is to lure in the Mega Scizor, live a Bullet Punch, and then retaliate with a Fire Blast. I had to go Fire Blast over Flamethrower in this case, mainly because my investment. I'm running some speed on Clefable to outspeed an uninvested Mega Scizor, so he might get a little bit too not cautious. He might get a little bit too safe, thinking that says uninvested Mega Scizor is naturally faster than uninvested Clefable. He might just bring like Smart Strike or something like that. And then if I outspeed him with Fire Blast, like he's not running any like HP or special defense investment, I can just Fire Blast and knock his thing out. So that's pretty much Clefable in a nutshell. Next up, we have Metagross. Metagross is my Stealth Rocker here, with Stealth Rock, Meteor Mash, Ice Punch, and Toxic, as Metagross does lure in Alomomola very, very nicely. I get up my rocks, and then he can go for a Toxic as he tries to burn me with Scald. Of course, it would suck if Scald did burn me, but it is what it is. I could have brought Heal Bell and Clefable, but the extra moves, I need the extra moves on Clefable to better check his team. Run the Sugar Berry, as he does have a lot of Pokemon with ground type coverage, like the Lando and the Flygon. I can live either an Earthquake or an Earth Power from Flygon, retaliate with an Ice Punch, get that out of the way. Done. Again, I'm running enough speed to outspeed Mandibuzz again, so I can at least Toxic it before he tries to taunt me, preventing me from getting up my rocks. And that's pretty much Metagross in a nutshell. Nothing really too fancy about that. Number 5, we have Latias here, rocking Reflect type with Reflect type Roost. Recover. And we have Dragon Pulse and HP Fire for the Mega Scizor. This is my response to not only his Rotom Heat, but his Mega Scizor as well. As if I get a Reflect type up on the Mega Scizor, it cannot touch me at all. SD variants can be a little bit tricky with, more difficult to deal with, but I do have Recover, so it's not that big of a deal. And like I said before, this is Latias is my Rotom Heat switching for the most part. So that is my Latias. And last up, we have the Chestnut. I initially had Drapion over Chestnut here, but seeing as though I have my ground resist before I put Chestnut was Latias, that would have been very, very problematic. And shout outs to Ra for helping me with that. So Chestnut was my ground switching, and I decided to bring a fast taunt set on this Chestnut. Again, it's running enough speed for uninvested Mandibuzz, so I can taunt his walls and prevent them from either healing or setting up themselves. We have Spiky Shield along with Leech Seed to stall out, get some health back, and Seed Bomb is just there for general coverage for his Alomomola, his Tyranitar. And I felt like the safest move to bring overall. And judging by the team he brought of Lando T, Tyranitar, Rotom Heat, Alomomola, Mega Scizor, and Flygon, Rotom Heat was going to become an issue. So at the same time, I wanted to get so I had to get my rocks up pronto, but there's also a possibility that he was either bringing Defog Flygon or Defog Mega Scizor. And he still had Alomomola to pass wishes to, so him getting rid of rocks right away isn't that big of a deal. So judging by the Pokemon he has, Chestnut actually has a very, very solid matchup against most of his team, as it actually can it can stall out Lando, beat it 1v1. T-Tar, who's not running like Ice Beam or Fire Blast, can Chestnut can deal with. Alomomola, I can taunt it, as Chestnut only fears the Skull Burn. Mega Scizor, if he's like an SD variant, I could set up on that and Leech Seed stall it out. And Flygon, if he's physical, I'll be a lot better shape. If he's special with Fire Blast, I have to be a little bit more cautious. So I decided overall to lead off with my Chestnut because, like I said, it had a good matchup against most of his team. So as we see here, I'm going to start as we go into the battle here. I am going to lead off with my Chestnut as he leads off with his Flygon. Now I already make a mistake turn 1 because what I should have did right away was Spiky shielded to assess what kind of moveset he was, but I got a little bit overzealous and automatically thought that his Flygon was going to be a physical variant. So instead of Spiky shielding Primm to see if he does have the Fire Blast, I went straight for the Leech Seed here like an idiot, and I almost lose the one thing I had for most of his monsters. I get the Leech Seed off, but I'm in a very bad position from turn 1. I'm forced to Spiky Shield to switch out into his Landorus. He gets the Intimidate off. I go over Spiky Shield, that's fine. I go over Spiky Shield again just to get my... I went Leech Seed, then Spiky Shield, as I unfortunately miss. So now from here, I decided to go for Spiky Shield just to see what he's going to do here. He goes for the knockoff, that's fine. He takes some chip damage from Spiky Shield as I go for the Leech Seed here, as he goes to knock off my leftovers, which is perfectly fine. I get the Leech Seed off, which is pretty nice, getting back that health. So now he goes on to Flygon here, as I go for the double Leech Seed, predicting him to switch. So now I'm going to Spiky Shield again and predict him to Fire Blast me one more time, as he does. So my switch into Flygon here was going to be my Latias, as he decides to go into the Alomomola, but I go into Clefable, and now I double into Latias, predicting him to go into the Rotom Heat, as Clefable can't touch it. So now from here, I decided to scout and see what he does. He's faster, so he confirms he's Scarf, Rotom Heat, as he goes for Volt Switch into the T-Tar, as I go for the Dragon Pulse here just for damage. And now here I decide to reveal my Reflect type here, as I'm expecting him to Pursuit Trap me. So I get the Reflect type off, he gets the Pursuit off, doesn't do much damage to me with Reflect type. So I'm excited to go out and he goes out into his Scizor as I Dragon Pulse one more time. Now here was pretty much one of the dumbest plays I've ever made in my life. So I'm currently I'm Reflect type as Tyranitar. So I'm Rock Dark. And the smart play obviously was to go out into Chestnut, because Chestnut is my switch to Mega Scizor. But the dumb part of me is telling me I can Reflect type again, because for some strange reason I forget Bullet Punch is a priority move. So I'm like, okay, I can Reflect type faster than a priority Bullet Punch. That makes so much sense in my head. Yeah, no it doesn't. So I stand like an idiot as he Bullet Punches me, and I almost lose my Latias. And I Reflect type the Mega Scizor for God knows what reason that accomplished. And now I had to sack it up because I couldn't switch back in because I had no hazard removal. So I just lost the one switch and I Rotom Heat from sheer stupidity. Now I go with my Chestnut, I go into get the Leech Seed off, he goes for the Roost. So I'm getting back health now. I'm trying to recover from that stupid play I made. He goes to Rotom Heat and I double Leech Seed one more time. So now I go to Spiky Shield here just to see what moves he's going to lock himself into. He goes for the Trick here, and this was a little bit of a prepared situation because I had nothing I wanted to take a Trick. So I was forced to switch out and go out to my Diggersby. Clefairy was the only thing to take a Trick, but I double back into my Clefable on the Alomomola Skull. Gets the burn, doesn't matter because I'm Magic Guard. So from here, I make another double into my Diggersby here as I predict him to go back into Rotom Heat. In comes the Rotom Heat one more time. And now he's fearing I'm Scarf now, so he goes all the way to his Landorus. I'm just going to click the return here. That's a clean 2-hit KO, even with the Intimidate. Reveals he's Rocky Helmet, Landorus, Darien. And now he pulls a double back into his Mega Scizor here as I double into my Chestnut. So from here, I go for Leech Seed one more time as he goes for the Roost. And now from here, I'm getting back his health, and now I double Leech Seed again, predicting him to switch again. So now he goes for the Roost. So now He's trying to stall me on my leech seed, which is a solid play on his part, but I'm not having it. I'm gonna reveal the taunt, as he can't like roost stall me out of the leech seed. So now he's forced to go out into his lower mola as I leech seed again. So from here, I could have stayed in seed bomb, but I'm going to go for the taunt here first to prevent him from going for wish, as he tries to do there, but he couldn't. So he's in a precarious situation. I go out into my Seismitoad here as I predict him to scald me, but he makes a double down to his Rotom Heat. From here, I go out into my Diggersby again because I fear that was the only thing that could take a trick. So he gets the Life Orb, I get a Choice Scarf. That was probably a bad play on my part because I could have really sacked off Seismitoad, but now I'm locked into return here. He gets a free Roost as I'm going back into my Seismitoad this time. As he goes for the Roost, that's fine. So here I'm gonna go for the substitute here, as he actually decides he actually stays in and goes for the knockoff here, which was kind of weird, so to speak, because if I had gotten the Skull Burn here, he would have been in a little bit of a more precarious situation here. So I go for Scald again, don't get the burn, he goes for the knockoff. So basically, on 2 instances, he stayed in with Mega Scissor, risking the Skull Burn. He didn't have any Heal Bow users, which was kind of an awkward situation, or awkward play. But now from here, I go out into my Chestnut as it goes for knockoff again. So I don't know exactly what his play was, but trying to triple knock off my my Seismitoad and risk the Scald Burn, but well, it worked out for him because I didn't get the burn either way. So so I go for Leech Seed again on my Chestnut as he's forced to switch out. He goes out into his Rotom Heat as I go for another Leech Seed. I'm still in a pretty bad spot because like I said, I lost my Latias very, very early to a very dumb play. I spike his shield again just to see if he's going to go for the Overheat or the Volt Switch. He does go for Overheat. As I predict that. Now I go and I hard switch, well, not hard switch, but after Leech Seed recovery, I go hard into my Seismitoad here as it was already pretty weakened. As he goes for the Overheat and unfortunately he missed. From here I could have gotten off a free Scald, but if he went to Alomomola on the Scald and I got the burn, that would suck. See, so I go for the Scald here, and I hope I didn't get the burn this time. The one time I don't want it to burn, and luckily for me it doesn't. So from here I have 2 plays, either to go for substitute or go for toxic. I go for the sub here as just in case he decides to go for toxic on my Seismitoad here. He goes for a wish. I can fire off a toxic here because the only thing I want to come is Mega Scissor on the toxic. He goes out into his Flygon here. I get the toxic off, that's fine. It's going to be back at full health here. But because I'm still behind a substitute, I get up a free Scald nonetheless. So he goes for the Earth Power, does break my sub. I get the Scald off. I go for the Scald. Does a decent amount of damage here. Take the poison damage. Now I could have switched directly into Clefable here, which I probably should have did, but I was still fearing like if he was like mixed with Iron Tail. So, and I did have the Babiri Berry, but I was trying to save it for Mega Scizor, so I just let my Seismitoad go down. I go back into my Diggersby, and here I wanted to Fire Punch so badly on this Mega Scizor, but I played it safe. I go for the return. I really wanted to Fire Punch, and I was thinking either Fire Punch or going for the return, but I was being too cautious there. Going back out into my Chestnut here as he goes for the Roost. Couldn't do much about that. So here I decided to go for I think I went for Leech Seed this turn, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I went for the Leech Seed. Do connect. I have no idea what this Tyranitar has. He could be Bandit Pursuit. I don't know. I didn't really scout his moveset out. Spiky shielded again on the Rotom Heat switching. So I needed something that I wanted to switch into something because I had nothing on my team to take an Overheat. So I double Spiky Shield just to see if he would go for the Overheat again. And since I lost both of my water resists, my fire resist, I was forced to make a very, very weird play. I needed Chestnut more than I needed Clefable at this point. So you get the Life Orb overheat off. I live on 1%, but since I'm still slower, I am gonna just die to the next Volt Switch. Actually, yeah, he went for Volt Switch here. I go down and he goes down to Life Orb recoil, so the kill goes to no one, and I'm still down 3-5. But the Rotom Heat is gone, but a little bit too late. So now I go out into my Diggersby. I think it goes out into the Mega Scizor. Now here I just click Fire Punch because I didn't really care. He goes out into his Landorus. I could have. Here I reveal the Fire Punch. It didn't really matter at this point. Here I probably should have doubled into Chestnut on the Alomomola, but all I was trying to do was just trying to get off some damage and try to bring it back somehow. And the pretty sad thing about the whole thing is, if I had got rid of Flygon sooner, Chestnut could have actually beaten the rest of his team, potentially. So he goes for a Wish here, and I make another dumb play, because I went for Leech Seed here for 2 reasons, as he goes for the Toxic. Now, I went for Elite Seed for 2 reasons. One, I revealed Taunt twice. I taunted Mega Scizor and I taunted the Alomomola before. And I figured he's gonna go for the he's gonna go for Skull, expecting me to taunt him. But I should have just made the overall safe play here and just taunt it again, because now that my Chestnut is poisoned, I essentially just lost the game. Because Leech Seed can't recover faster than the toxic burn. The toxic damage is going to wear down my Chestnut. He could just stall me out of Spiky. Just stall me. And even if my Chestnut could still bring it back, but he could just switch stall me out of Leech Seeds here. And Metagross was essentially, I don't know why I was holding on to Metagross still for, but as he still had Mega Scizor and a Alomomola, which I couldn't even touch yet if I got off the Toxic sooner. But nevertheless, now I decided to go for a taunt here, 1 turn too late, as he tries to go for the Wish. But I do get off of this. Does give me a chance to get off a free Seed Bomb here as it goes out into Tyranitar. Stands back up, does not matter, as I go for the Seed Bomb here. Almost takes it out, which does a very decent amount of damage with uninvested Seed Bomb. So I'm assuming he was just trying to sack this thing off and get a free switch into the Flygon, as I'm faster. So it revealed he was like a bulky Choice Banded Tyranitar. So Tyranitar goes down, Chestnut gets a kill, but it's still very, very grim, as I've taken a shit ton of toxic damage here. He goes for the Flygon. I just go for Spiky Shield. I should have just let it take me out, because he went for Earth Power here, as I actually had a chance to live the Earth Power. He's probably predicting my Metagross there, which kind of made sense, but at the same time, I had no Fire Switch-ins anymore. So down goes my Chestnut, in comes my Diggersby. I just click return here. There was really nothing I could do here, as he decides to sack off the Landorus just to get the Intimidate drop and see what I lock myself into. If I lock myself in return, he gets a free switch to Mega Scizor. He goes to Fire Punch. I free switch it to Alomomola. So it didn't really matter here. In comes the Mega Scizor, as he just gonna pick me off with a Bullet Punch, and that is essentially the game, because my Mega Metagross, I wish. Anyway, as my Metagross cannot do crap to the Mega Scizor, as I was really debating whether to bring I had HP Fire prior to me switching it to Ice Punch, but it wouldn't have mattered in terms of the overall, how the battle overall ended. So just go for 2 Meteor Mashes, didn't really matter. And he finishes me off with a knockoff. So some very bad plays on my part, and him being very aggressive with Mega Scizor against my Seismitoad was kind of awkward, but at the same time, most of the results of this battle ended up it was 100% on me. Like me not switching out of Latias on the Mega Scissor Bullet Punch was my first dumb play. Me not going for the taunt on the Alone Mole as I went for Toxic, as I revealed taunt twice prior, was another dumb play. And probably the third dumbest play was to not let something other than Diggersby take the trick from the Rotom Heat. Probably the Seismitoad. Because Seismitoad didn't really do much other than Toxic, the Alomomola, and that was pretty much it. I didn't have to do anything in terms of substitute. I could have spammed Scald. I could have spammed Scald if Alomomola was already poisoned and then just try to fish for a burn. But that didn't happen, and the result is I ended up losing 3-0. So, nonetheless, man, I really don't know what to say, because I made some very, very, very dumb mistakes during the course of this battle, and it really cost me, because the team was very well constructed in my estimation, in my opinion, but I didn't play well. I just flat out did not play well at all in this battle. Especially considering that Chestnut put in a lot of work, Latias put in a lot of work, and I sacked it off like an idiot. Diggersby put in a lot of work, and I let it get tricked the Choice Scarf of all things. I shouldn't have let Diggersby take the Choice Scarf. I should have let Seismitoad take the Choice Scarf. It was a little bit more expendable. If I got rid of the Rotom Heat sooner, Clefable put in a decent amount of work as well. So it's something to work on for future weeks. But nonetheless, we are now on a 2-game losing streak. We are 1-2. I will correct my my mistakes. I actually have to. I don't have a choice. I can't afford to play like this as the season progresses. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it. I don't want to sound too down on myself, but that's just you just have those days where you're not thinking at all about these sort of plays, and then this sort of stuff doesn't happen. The only silver lining, so to speak, to take away with this was the fact that there was absolutely no hacks in this battle whatsoever. There was really no crits or any para hacks or any of that stuff. It was probably the cleanest but the stupidest game I played, so to speak. Nothing against my opponent. That's just me being honest. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know how, but if you enjoyed, well, we all have those days. We all make mistakes. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it anymore. If you enjoyed the battle, please feel free to hit the like button if you did enjoy the content. We will be bouncing back for week number 4. I assure you. And just a brief other thing that I did. I did drop for week number 4. I dropped Sand Slash, and I picked up a Alolan Persian. So while I did lose a Hazard Remover, I dropped my Spinner and a Stealth Rocker, but Alolan Persian can do some pretty nice things. It can taunt, Fur Coat's nice, Parting Shot for momentum. So a lot of different stuff it can do. But nonetheless, that is pretty much going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you enjoyed. I say, have a nice day and all of that good stuff. And until the next time, my name is Anthony, aka Tone, and I am going to catch you guys on the flip side. Later.